In an effort to reopen Baltimore's blocked port, crews began removing the first section of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge on Saturday. The operation involves cutting a piece of the bridge just north of the Patapsco River's deep draft shipping channel, lifting it with a 160-ton marine crane, and transporting it by barge to the nearby Trade Point Atlantic site at Sparrows Point.
This morning, Unified Command assured me that the hull of the Dolly is damaged but intact. The Army Corps and their partners will begin to move forward with the crane operations today. The north sections of the Key Bridge are going to be cut up and removed. This will eventually allow us to open up a temporary restricted channel that will help us to get more vessels in the water around the site of the collapse.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore added that removing the debris is a complex process and could not provide a timeline for completion.
Conditions in the water make it unsafe for rescue divers. And we're not just talking about weather and wind. We're talking about debris. We're talking about wreckage. We're talking about pieces of the Key Bridge that are in the water.
Operations at the port have been halted for 5 days since the tragedy, impacting the jobs of some 15,000 people.
This is not just about Maryland. This is about our nation's economy. The port handles more cars and more farm equipment, more than any other port inside this country, and at least 8,000 workers on the docks have jobs that have been directly affected by this collapse. Our economy depends on the Port of Baltimore, and the Port of Baltimore depends on vessel traffic.
The bridge collapsed on Tuesday after a container ship collision, killing 6 workers. U.S. President Joe Biden is scheduled to visit Baltimore next week.
When will you visit Baltimore? Baltimore next week.
His administration has approved $60 million in immediate federal aid to help clean up the wreckage.